Hey, good afternoon, friends. Today is Sunday, August the 4th, 2024, and the time now is 5:18 p.m. So the situation in Venezuela continues in terms of the dispute between President Maduro and the opposition leader, Edmundo Gonzalez. Now, the situation in Venezuela is also taking an international turn. And this is why I also do believe that even though it is an election that has everything to do with a country, it is the domestic affairs of a country, it is also shaping or impacting international politics or international relations. Now, the election happened last Sunday, and then by Monday, the election results were published, and Maduro was basically declared the winner of the election. Now, the opposition forces have been protesting the election result, and they claim that they are the actual winner, the truthful winner of the election. And Edmundo Gonzalez and his groups, his supporters, they have been calling for the Venezuelan Election Authority to publish the tallies of the election. And other international institutions or countries or leaders have also done the same. Whether we are talking about the United States, Argentina, Brazil, Panama, they've all called for the election authority in Venezuela to publish the election tally, or that the opposition forces or Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez had won the election. At least that's what they are saying. Now, on the international stage, I haven't heard that much from the Russians and the Chinese and others, but so far the United States had already come out recognizing that Edmundo Gonzalez had won the election. So on Friday, the U.S. recognized him as the winner of the election in Venezuela. So far, Panama and other countries have already came out and either joining the United States to recognize Edmundo Gonzalez as the winner of the election in Venezuela, or they had called for the election authorities in Venezuela, in Caracas, to release the tallies of the election. I don't know where this is going, and I hope that it is a situation that the government of Venezuela, whether we are talking about the Maduro sect and the opposition forces out there, as led by Edmundo Gonzalez, that they can basically solve this peacefully. The country, Venezuela, has been through a lot of stuff for the past few years. But the fear now is whenever there are international entities that get involved in such situation, it sometimes spiral out of control, which in this case is never good for the countries or the government of the various country or countries. The fact that the United States and France and allies have come out and recognizing Edmundo Gonzalez as having won the election is an interesting thing in international relations, in global politics. I'm not sure what evidences they do have, but it's global politics. I don't like you, even though my man did not win the election. I'm going to say that he or she won the election, because getting them in office means I am sailing smooth in the country. I have access to the resources, and I can do whatever with the country and the country's economy or economics. Russia, China could be doing this as well. But whenever the West makes such move, it is at a point when the entire world has learned a lot from the West in recent years and decades, that the entire world is often suspicious about anything the West or the United States most especially does. The fact that Edmundo Gonzalez is saying that the authority, the election authority, should release the tally doesn't actually mean that he actually won the election. Also, it doesn't actually mean that Maduro actually won the election. But the whole situation relating to Venezuela is something that the international community, the true international community that is not of the conceptual West, must pay attention to and get involved. Because the situation in Venezuela was also the case in the past when the United States was trying to get, Juan Guaido to basically be the leader of Venezuela, basically trying to force Mr. Guaido into office and delegitimizing the other candidate or the president of Venezuela. Perhaps that could be the same thing that is happening, in that people such as Edmundo Gonzalez does have a valid claim and he is in a good position to make a claim, while Juan Guaido did not have such. I don't know, but please tell me what you think. So, in terms of the situation in Venezuela, both Maduro and the opposition, as led by Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez, are going head to head, and their supporters are backing them. In the West, you have the United States leading the charge, okay? From basically criticizing, grilling Mr. Maduro, to supporting Edmundo and declaring, or let's say, recognizing Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez as having won the election in Venezuela. On the side of the rest of the world, in terms of the other big countries out there, and I'm talking about China, Russia, India, and others, Brazil and others, we are not hearing that much, or at least I haven't heard that much in support or in criticism of Maduro. However, there are calls out there in the international community for the election tallies, as I've said many times now, or a couple of seconds now, to be published. However, the supporters of both camps, Maduro and Gonzalez, are going head to head. So we are getting news that as much as there are protests against Maduro and calling for the release of the election tallies and basically stating that Mr. Gonzalez had won the election, there are also pro-Maduro forces or pro-Maduro protests or rallies in Venezuela, in Caracas, and other parts of the country. This then begs the comment. As much as one group of people may think you are the devil, there are other people, other group, that may think you are the best. Now, Venezuela is a country that is divided. To an extent, we can say that. Whether we are talking about the times of Hugo Chavez, where even when they had the coup in Venezuela, I don't remember the correct year, but we had a coup in Venezuela where some forces were trying to storm the presidential mansion, if I can remember correctly. But then you have the pro-presidential guards that basically hid in the presidential palace, in some parts of the presidential palace, that ended up coming out and basically secured the guys who were trying to carry out the coup. And they went out announcing that the coup is over, that they had secured the presidential palace and that the president is safe, or something like that. I remember seeing a bunch of people taking to the streets celebrating, some of them calling Hugo Chavez their comrades and all sort of things. And even during those days, there were many who were anti-Hugo Chavez. And many of them were the money elites, okay, the people who live in the suburb, the rich suburbs, or the rich center city of Caracas, okay? Those who are controllers of the money, okay, who control the means of production, who were anti-Hugo Chavez but pro-West. Perhaps This is the camp that Mr. Gonzalez could be part of. I'm not sure, but the fact that you have pro Gonzalez forces out there protesting, rallying, and then you are having pro Maduro forces out there rallying, it does say a lot. Okay? What they say, action speaks louder than words. Okay? It shows, yes, it is a divided country. Now, in terms of the vote, if the election tallies are published and it is confirmed by the true international community, that is not solely the conceptual West. If it is confirmed that Maduro actually lost the election, and now I'm getting that the opposition is saying that they have won about 80% or so of the vote. If that is the case, then perhaps we can say that Venezuela is not as divided as many may think it is. We can then state that the vast majority of the people are anti-Maduro. But then, when things comes from the West, we are at the point in time and in life when it is difficult to take the West, its words, whatever it says, because the West had made so many statements, had said so many things over the past 2-3 decades that had gotten the rest of the world into chaos to the point where it is difficult for anyone to basically just take what the West is saying, what is coming out of the Western camp. But in terms of the situation in Venezuela, we have two forces that are disputing each other's claim of an election result. And of those two forces, we do have their supporters, their domestic supporters, basically rallying on their behalf, claiming that their guy won the election. So, for Mr. Gonzalez, Edmundo Gonzalez, he is supported by the United States and friends and allies. And the United States has already recognized him as the winner of the election. Now, as for Maduro, it is not the same. I haven't heard that many countries supporting him or confirming or recognizing him as the winner of the election. And that perhaps is because international relations right now, it is very tense. But it also seems as if there is some form of right-wing things going on in Latin America or so. And the way in which countries are critical of Maduro and trying to get him out, it is also suspicious for the region. Perhaps I may be wrong, perhaps I may be right. But please, friends, tell me what you think. But I want to also thank you for being a member of the Echoing Voice community and also for watching the Echoing Voice. Peace.